Hey everybody, Karen here, the Unpinned Creative at Unpinned Creative. I have got for you today a tutorial for the Forest Fairies Waterfall Ephemera. That was in the last video I posted of the fairy journal flip through. You will have seen it there, and this is what it looks like when it's done. So it's a kind of interactive piece. I'm sure you've seen these waterfalls before, and on the back of each of the cards is some journaling space, and then you have a hidden journaling spot behind. So it's a really fun piece, and I created a digital of this particular one, and there'll be more other themed ones to follow, but this one is available now in my website, on my website if you're interested, and I'll put that in the description box below. So this is what we're going to make today. So if you purchase the digital, there you'll get 4 printed pages and a list of printed instructions. It's easier for me to follow a visual tutorial, so that's why I decided to do the video as well. Hopefully the printed instructions are fairly easy to follow. Otherwise you've got a video. Alright, so the first 3 pages in the digital you want to print out and print it onto lightweight card. This is 210 GSM and that's about right for me. You don't want paper. Paper is too flimsy. You definitely want a lightweight card. So the first 3 pages look like this, and this one. Print those out, and then the 4th page you want to print on the back. So they're all the same. Doesn't matter though, but and then you go ahead and cut each piece out along the black border. So the outside black border of each piece, and the easiest way to do that for me is to use a ruler and a craft knife. And if you line your ruler up just inside that black line, then you will cut it off. And then what you will have once you've cut all those out is a bunch of pieces like this, and a whole lot of strips and 2 spare pieces of card, which you could use elsewhere in your project, and we're actually going to use 1 piece to make a tab. Okay, so I have gone ahead and inked the edges of all of my piece because I don't like the white edge. That is totally up to you. First thing we are going to start with is piece A. So all of the pieces are labelled with letters. So we've got piece A, these are D, B, C, and then they're not labelled, but they're the last things that you need. So piece A and then piece B, which is this blank piece, and we're just going to attach that here up to this line. So we're going to cover up that A. So that's fairly easy and self-explanatory. Just use whatever your favourite glue is, or you could use double-sided tape, I suppose. But you really want to make sure the edge is stuck down, because we don't want that getting caught on anything. So the edges have to be really well stuck down. And you want to make sure it is straight. There, you want these 2 pieces straight, because otherwise it will make your pulling action wonky, so it's better to have them straight. There we go. Alrighty. So effectively we were just extending this piece, this first piece, to make it longer. Next we want to score, and we are going to score along each of these 5 lines that are printed there. So do that however you choose. I use a scoring board. If you don't have a scoring board, you can simply put your ruler up against the line and fold your piece like that. It's also important to make sure these are straight. Okay, so that is 5 scored lines, and now we want to go ahead and give those a nice crisp crease with your bone folder. And I do it both ways. Just make sure when you are folding it like this that the edges are all aligned nicely. You want everything to be straight so that it works as easily as possible. So that is what we have now. You can go ahead and fold your piece in half like that. Again, just make sure it's all lined up nicely. Take piece C, which is this back piece, and we're going to line up this piece on top of that. And you'll see that it overhangs a little bit on the sides. You can have it a little bit overhanging at the top as well, but not too much. And then we're going to choose one of these strips. So there's 2 different ones, the foresty one or the more sky coloured one. So choose whichever one you prefer. I'm going to use the blue one, I think. And you want to kind of centre it as much as possible over the top at the bottom here. You can go right to the bottom if you wish, or leave a little bit of a border, which is what I'm going to do. And we are going to centre this a bit better. Right, and then we're going to fold over the ends all the way behind piece C, okay, on both sides. So it will look like that. Then you can take that off, put some glue between those 2 creases. Glue that in place. So we're only gluing that to the top bit at this stage. Also now, I should have said actually before we glued that down, is if you wanted to go ahead and round the corners and stuff, you can do that now. Now is a good time. If you want to do some decorating on this back piece, which is going to be hidden, so some stamping or something like that, now is a good time to do that. I wouldn't add anything too dimensional to this piece because it might hinder the movement of it. Alright, so we have that. The next thing, it's really easy peasy and quick, this project, is to take your fairy images and decide the sequence you'd like them to go in. So the only one that you'll be able to see all the time is the image that will be at the top here, and the rest will be partially hidden. So you want to decide which image you want at the top, and I think I would like her, or I really like her. I might have her. And then which image you would like following her. So I might put her there, her there, her there, and her on the bottom. So I think that's the order I would like them to go in. So now if you wanted to decorate these pieces more, now is a good time to do that also. Again, you don't want to add too much dimensional stuff except to the bottom one. You can add dimensional stuff to the bottom one, but the others, it will just hinder the movement. So you can see on these ones, all I've done is taken a gold marker and done a little bit of decoration, and then for the bottom one I added some dimensionals is all, but you could have added lace or anything like that as well to it. Easy peasy. The next step is to start with the bottom one, which is the one that will be going down here, and you can apply glue to the whole back of this one. Cover the whole thing, and then you're going to center it and line it up right with that crease. Don't make it go over the crease, but just line it up with that crease, and it will come down over this strip, which is why we needed to put that on first. Then you take the next one in the sequence, and you want to put glue just between these two creases. Again, don't go over the crease. But just between those two pieces. And then I'm just going to put a line of glue across the top of that one. Again, line it up with the crease and the edges of the one below it. So what you've got now is the top bit is adhered, but the bottom bit is not. Okay, and then you're just going to go ahead and do that with the remaining three pieces. Okay, so you now should have all of your fairies attached at the top. Again, before you glue these bits finally, do any decorating you want, any stamping or stenciling or anything like that to the inside of this piece. And then you're going to line this up again. On your backing. Make sure it's nice and straight. Flip it over and we can apply glue to these strips. Don't go right up to the crease with your glue. Oh, what we should have done is put a tab on it. That's okay. Okay, so now this front bit is attached to the backing board. Now, this bit sticking out the bottom is the bit that will be you pull to make your waterfall work. You can trim that off a little bit if you want to. You can add lace to it, or ribbon, or decoration, or a tab. So yeah, totally up to you. I like to add a tab so it's kind of obvious that you're meant to pull it. So you would just put that there like that. And then you could put an eyelet and a charm or some beads or something like that on there if you wanted to. But that is essentially the piece of ephemera made. Let's make sure it works, and it does. Let's make sure it goes back as well. So the first few times it will be a little bit stiff while it's all figuring itself out, but it gets better the more you open and close it. It's also because I haven't got it glued to a page yet, so it's a bit moving a bit. Actually, if you smooth down these creases just with your fingernail, I think that helps quite a bit. Much better. So once you have, so just use your fingernail where you bone fold it and smooth down those creases. Like that. And that's your piece of ephemera done. Once you've got it to that stage, if you you can go ahead and stick it on a journal page. So you just cover this whole back piece. Don't cover this bit that's sticking out the bottom, but this whole back piece in glue and press it down onto the page. And then it's done. Now this is quite big. It will fit onto an A5, which I know is what most people do for journal pages these days, with just the bottom bit sticking out. But if you wanted it smaller, then just when you print it, change the percentage. Instead of printing it at 100%, print it at 80% or something like that, and then you'll get a smaller version of it. Okay, that is it for today. Thanks so much for joining me again. I hope this was interesting for you. I really love this, and I have lots of other designs in my head that I'm going to be doing. I think I'll be adding one to every journal now because I love it so much, and some ideas for other pieces of ephemera that I can do as a digital kit. So yeah, as I said, my website is in the description box below. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.